Hello friends, welcome to the channel. This is Stormhaven Gaming, I'm John, this is Timberborn, like and subscribe, yada yada yada, let's get going. So we are on day 10 of this cycle. We are in the middle of a bad tide, we've got 17 days left. It shouldn't be too much of a problem, in theory. We have plenty of food, plenty of water, that's not even worth looking at anymore. That's just chuntering along, keeping us fed, it's all good. In terms of other resources, we're doing pretty well. Building up a stock of dynamite, which is good, because we're going to need that. Our pine resin has filled itself up again, which is lovely. Looks like we filled up on treated planks, so some more storage for those would be a good idea. Filling up on scrap metal, which is good, because we are trying to get rid of this little ruin here. We've got rid of the other two that we had up. Well, one down there and one up here. They're all gone now. So, the plan is that we get rid of this, we lay in tier 2 explosives on all of this, with some tier 1s around the edges where they're needed. So the odd place here and there will need a tier 1 just to tidy it up. There's quite a few of them actually. I thought there were fewer, but no, there's sort of 6 or 7 at least there that we'll need to look at. We'll need to do the same around the riverbed here, probably. If only to just, you know, make it neat. But we are going to change this completely. We're going to set up a sluice system, the same as we've got on this water source and this one and that one over there. And we're going to divert the fresh water one way. And the bad water the other way. Probably what I'm thinking at the moment is just getting the bad water off the map. Because we certainly don't need any more bad water. We have a considerable amount. And putting in a bad water reservoir over here. Where are we? Over here. Is still definitely on the cards. Yeah, that's probably going to happen, he says. But in the meantime, this is our primary focus. I'm spreading the dirt up to this level again around here, just for something to do whilst we're waiting for this scrap metal to go. It shouldn't take too long. They've already done that much in, what, half a day. So it shouldn't take them too long to get all of this done. Everything else is functioning fine. We've got our reservoir here, which is, you know, more than half filled. It's probably about 3/4 filled already, which is good. We can start to think about setting up water pumps along here. I was going to say, should we need them, but it's probably worth putting a couple on there anyway, isn't it? No point in having all this water and not using it. Over here, I haven't bothered to turn these water pumps on just yet. We've still got a tiny bit of water in there somehow. We've still got plenty of water in this little reservoir here, so we've probably got a couple of days before we'll need to turn this on. It looks like these have stopped working because it's now too polluted. Oh no, we've got a little bit of pumping going on. There's obviously still some fresh water around there. But yeah, putting in some water pumps up here, not the worst idea. Best to start from this end, because we are going to be demolishing this tubeway station at some point. Yeah. Just thinking, where are we bringing it down to? Because if we're bringing everything up to this level, that's the same height as this reservoir. And we can just spread out to meet it, can't we? In which case, we don't need to demolish that. We just need to bring the earth up around, which will probably mean replacing these tubeways with solid tubeways, so that we can build dirt on top. And it might mean replacing this as well. Oh, there was one other thing. I should probably talk about it whilst I remember it. There was an update a couple of days ago in which they replaced the natural overhangs with dirt blocks. So all of this, as you can see, is just made of dirt blocks But there's been a patch a couple of days ago as well in which they've put them back in. But obviously they haven't updated old saves in the way that they did with the natural blocks. So we still have natural blocks. We don't have the overhangs, which, I mean, aesthetically, I think I prefer the natural overhangs to the solid tunnels like that. But these are probably easier to manage, honestly. Anyway, they've done that. So I will play on through the Badtide for a few days. We'll see how we do with this. We'll see how we do with the dirt there. I might start sort of squaring off this edge and moving across. I don't think I'll start any major construction projects. We are doing okay for happiness, so our well-being is at 63. We only have 17 unemployed beavers, so that's hit the kind of level we want to keep it at. I've turned on a couple more of these breeding pods, so we'll keep an eye on that and see what that does. It might need sort of one more turning on or one turning off. We'll have to play that by ear. Yeah, so I'll spin on for a few days then. Okay, I've played on till day 13, so we've got about 2 weeks left of the Badtide. So we've played on for a few days. We've squared off this little section here. And I am building up to here. I have left a trench just in here. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. That's a bit better. So I've left a one tile deep trench in here. That's going to be for the tubeway when we replace it. So we'll build it out in a trench all the way from the tubeway station itself. I'm still not sure that we're going to keep it on a lump there. We might come back and demolish this and bring this section down as well, although that would be problematic. Now I think we'll leave that where it is. We might shrink down this nodule a little bit just so it's on a tiny raised plinth on its own, but we'll drop that down into a trench that runs all the way around there, and we'll probably end up bringing off a spur to connect into the tube station up here once we decide what we're doing with it. So that's the plan there. Up here we are making short work of this ruin, so that should be gone in the next couple of days, I suspect. Over here, there we go. I'm putting in some water pumps on this reservoir here, and I have unlocked and I'm building the large tank to supply hold water and to supply to other warehouses. So this will be a sort of stopgap for all the water that can be pumped out of this reservoir, basically. And we can just line those up along the front there if we need to. Hopefully we shouldn't, but, you know, we are good for water, so it's not a pressing concern. Or what I will do is, if I can find them, I will make sure that these are all set to bot operation. There we go. Yeah, that's basically where we are. We've finished that trench now, so let's start laying in some dirt this way around, shall we? Like so. And then we can continue that. Oops. No, I want to come in there. There we go. Like so. There we are. We'll get that started. We'll continue this around. I mean, I'm obviously going to need to get across the current tubeway. We'll be able to do that, I'm sure. And then we'll want to continue all of this. Yeah, this is the priority at the moment, really. We don't appear to have anyone working here. Are we full on treated planks again? We are. I mean, that should change because we are using metal blocks up here. Or do we just want to put in more storage? I don't really want to put in any more storage, but I guess we can. Yeah, I guess we'll come in there and put some more storage on top there. There we go. And you're going to be for... What are you going to be for? You're going to be for scrap metal. There we go. If I put these stairs up here, are we going to get a trapped beaver? Probably. Yeah, probably. We'll have to see. Okay, but yeah, everything else is going okay. We've lost the water in this little section here. We still have a little bit in there. Probably a tile or so. Yeah, about a tile. So I've turned on a couple of the pumps in this reservoir here. Obviously, these have almost certainly... They're not drawing a huge amount of water anymore, as you can see. It's pumping, but that number is not increasing. So it's doing its best, bless it. But oh, there we go. It just increased to 77%. So yeah, that's maybe producing one every couple of days. So not great in the greater scheme of things. It's not that useful, but we'll leave them on. They're happy. Okay, why are you doing nothing? We have... Oh, no. It says we have space there. There's a gap in the thing, but... It could be that this is waiting to be built, and that's already taken into account there. Planks are dropping a little bit. Keep an eye on those. Yeah, everything else should be fine. So I'll spin on again for another few days and see how we do. Okay, day 20. We've got 7 days left. We have cleared out this wreck here completely, this ruin. Just want to make sure that all of these are empty before I demolish them. I know that if I demolish them, we do get the goods that are stored in there back. I just want to make sure that they are empty. That's it. I was going to say more to that, but then I realised I didn't have anything more to say. Yeah. So I've cleared out the nubbins around the edge. We've cleared out some of the stuff from in here. As you can see, there are some points on here that we can't quite reach yet. So we'll set these little bits off here. Hopefully they won't set off the ones above them. That could be unfortunate. That looks like we're safe. Okay. And we'll do the same over here with these ones. There we go. Sorry, I moved the camera right in the middle of those explosives. That's not helpful. And as you can see, we are laying in the first set to bring all of this down to the same height. Yeah, I'm pretty sure with this path arrangement, as haphazard as it seems, we can reach everywhere on this outcropping. So we should be able to bring it all down to the same level without any particular hassle. Yeah, we're going to need to empty this out, but that is set to supply, so that should happen. Yeah. That's basically where we are. I've not really done anything else. Obviously, we've got our water pumps over here. We've got our large tank there that's set to supply so that it will spread all that water around to the rest of the settlement. Yeah, I really haven't done anything else. I've just been letting it sort of play on and get that metal scrap out of the way. We're still on 62 well-being, so that's fine. We have 18 bots and 24 beavers, so our population is rising a little bit. I'm going to try turning one more of these breeding pods off to see if that sort of stabilizes it again. 18 bots is okay, so I'm going to turn this second bot assembler off for the moment. I turned it on because we were running very low, and we do need 10 spare to go into the mine when we turn it back on. That will be turned on once this scrap metal from here has been shifted into other storage. That's what we're waiting for there. Okay, so these explosives are in. Now, should I set these off and then lay in the next lot? Yes, I think I will. I think we'll do it in stages. That seems like a smarter idea. There we go. That's that done. So doing it in stages means that if there's any problems with the flow, we'll be able to spot it before it floods literally everything. But I think we're going to be okay. So let's lay in the next lot. Obviously in there, and then straight across there like that. That will be untidy, so I'll bring it back to that change over there, that change in shape. Yeah, okay, we'll get that done. It shouldn't take too long, honestly. It shouldn't take too long. As I say, I've squared all of this off now up to the tubeway line. Oh, dear, I can never remember what that's called. There's just something in my brain that doesn't work properly. Well, I mean, there's a lot in my brain that doesn't work properly, but specifically relating to the name of the tubeway. But yeah, we're going to need to lay in the tubeway, the solid tubeway, I think. There we are, solid tubeway along there. And I think I can just place tubeway stations on top of that and it will work. We'll test that out, but yeah, that should be okay. Alright, what am I going to do apart from the explosives? I think I will lay in the next bit of terrain. Thank you, autosave. So we will square this off there, and I think, in fact, oops, I'm going to square that off as well, like so, and then I think we are going to have to come in from this side. We will encase that, oops, like so. Yeah, just square that off and encase our drill there, our dirt excavator. Alright, I will spin on to the end of the Badtide then. Okay, there we go, the Badtide is over. We have more water than we started with. Yep, just the way it goes sometimes. Plenty of food, everything's fine. I was going to say the only things we've got any kind of shortage on are dynamite and extract. We're actually fine for both of those as well. So yeah, we are full. All of our storage is pretty much full of stuff, which is lovely. Over here, as you can see, we have completed this section of explosives. Now this is, I have expanded it slightly because they filled it in really quickly. So we are right on the edge of the source blocks here. Flooded buildings? Why do we have flooded buildings? Okay. Open, please. Why are you not opening? What's going on there? You close below contamination of 4. You close above a contamination of 4. 3 maybe? Yeah, that should be okay. Doesn't look like we've got any major flooding down here, so that's okay. Water is flowing into our reservoir here. Again, should be. I don't... Yeah, I don't really know what the problem is here. Oh, well, it's sluices. I always have problems with sluices. But anyway, we are splitting now the water between the two. So we'll get half of it going into here, half of it going down through here to help sort of flush away some of this bad water. We are now dropping in power, presumably, because we are no longer getting the additional flow. Okay. We have nearly finished encasing our dirt excavator there. I know it's a bit of a waste of soil, but we've got a lot of it. It's fine. Really, it is. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'm going to continue on with this. So let's get rid of some of this dynamite, shall we? And clear some space for ourselves. Well, there we go. That was effective. Yep, no flooding or anything. No issues there. Thank you, autosave. Doing a sterling job as usual. Okay, so let's lay in the next chunk of explosives. I'm not sure that chunk is the technical term, but you know. Let's just bring it back to there, shall we? Yeah, we'll bring it back to there, get rid of this bit, and then we'll move back in this direction. We still have 118 scrap metal in this storage bin. You know what I could do? And I think I will do. No, we want paths and structures. Right. Let's build ourselves the tubeway in along there for when we need it later. That'll use up some metal blocks, which will use up some scrap metal. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, our population has boomed again to 35. We have a lot of flooding going on. That's probably, I would suspect, my fault. It's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. There we go. That should hopefully help things out down here a little bit. My bad. This one is open. Yes, this one is open. So that should flood through that way rather than continuing to flood everything around here. Yeah, alright. Probably should pay a bit more attention, shouldn't I? But never mind. We'll turn those off so this has a bit more of a chance to fill up. And I think what I am going to do is I'm going to close these two. Yeah, I'm going to close those two so that we get more coming through into here. That's not going to rise massively and flood everywhere, is it? No, that looks fine. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. The only other thing I've done... Where are we? Down here in our sort of secondary housing area. For the moment, I've just put in another couple of showers. Because they've got some up here, but having some down here nearer their housing is probably a good idea. Okay, flooding has retreated. That's good. Everything is okay, I think. We've still got a bit of storage for scrap metal, but that will be in there, presumably. But we are not producing any at the moment, so any metal blocks that get used will use scrap metal to replace those. So getting these tubeways in will probably help with that. And in fact, what I'm going to do is just up the priority on those to get those done. Alright, I'll spin on for a few days then. Hopefully we'll get a bit of this laid in. We'll get the tubeways laid in. And we'll be able to proceed from there. Okay, so there's the bad tide, and I might have closed things up a little early. We might have some minor flooding issues. Just minor, you know. Let's drop those down a little bit to release some of the pressure from here. We'll drop that down a little bit to release some of the pressure from here. And I guess we'll have to drop that down to relieve some of the pressure from here. Oops. There we go. The water is receding. It's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know why you were panicking. Yeah. It's all right. It's drained. It's going to be okay. Right. Ignoring all of that. This reservoir is pretty much full. Yeah, so we've got plenty of water stored up here. This is switched over effectively. There's no contamination. That's good. We can leave those where they are, I suppose. Yeah, I guess we'll leave those where they are. There's not a lot we can do about that for the moment. This has pretty much filled up. Not quite. I've had this open... these floodgates here. I've had these open so that they kind of level out, but I'll close them now. Oh, and where are we? Fluid dump will turn you on to keep that topped up there. Right. So we've got 22 days to get through. We should be able to manage that. That shouldn't be a terrible problem. But we do have some explosives to set off over here, so we'll do that now. Oops. If I can hold the camera steady. Apparently I cannot do that. There we go. That's got rid of all of that. Now, we just got this last little section to get down. We're probably, again, going to do this in 2 bits. I guess we'll start over here. Might as well. Like so. How are you doing? You are empty. Excellent. We can get rid of you. And we will prioritize the removal of that if we can. And we'll just come down like so. Actually, we won't lay in that one because we want our path to connect up like that, because we've got ourselves a second tubeway station down here which is connected to all of this at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that one and force them to use the stairs. And then we can delete that. We can delete that. And we can delete all this back. We'll delete it back to there, I think, because at the moment this stretch isn't actually connected to the rest of it. So we'll delete from there onwards. Like so. Alright, we'll take the top one down first. Alright, alright. There we go. Right. So all of that is gone. We can also get rid of this overhang. And this platform. And we'll be able to grab all of those resources back as well. In theory, but I think our storage is pretty much full. So we likely won't be able to. Not to worry, we'll lay in these explosives and then we'll come around this way. All the way back to the stairs, I think. That's going to take a few days, but we have plenty of time. We have plenty of water, plenty of food, plenty of all of that stuff. Okay, we also want to be expanding our dirt, but we're going to wait until we get rid of this tubeway and have the this one laid in properly. Okay, what I will do then... Oh. yes, what I'll do is I'll put in a platform there and a set of steps up. So we'll be able to come across and start laying in the dirt on this side. We can lay in dirt, obviously, between the overhangs and everything, but yeah, is it going to be easier to remove the tubeway first and then fill in that gap, or I don't know. Although I suppose if we're laying in our submerged tubeway along there, actually we can lay that in pretty effectively, can't we? So let's do it section by section, because it only needs to come up to there, doesn't it? Like so. Okay, and obviously that is going to sort of disconnect all of this once we break it open to lay in the next bit. But again, we can lay it in sections, and then we'll just have to replace 3 bits, 4 bits, something like that. That should be fine. Okay. Yes, I know what I'm doing, even if I'm not explaining it very well. Yeah, I guess we'll spin on. We'll let them get these explosives laid in, and we'll sort of stretch them across as they're done. This gives us a chance, once they've done that, I can build other things like the dirt. So putting it in stages sort of helps us build other things around the place. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're okay. I think everything is fine. I don't think I need to urgently do anything. Our population is still rising, so I am going to pause another one of these breeding pods. Our bots are holding at around 10, and we can actually turn the efficient mine back on there. And I am going to turn our bot assembler back on as well. So that will take a couple of the haulers out, the bot haulers, to work there. But hopefully that will boost our bot numbers again. Okay, everything else is going fine. We've got plenty of science built up. So, I mean, in theory, we could put in another control tower, but we don't have a major bot area except for over here. I suppose we could cover all of those bot-powered water pumps there, couldn't we? Yeah, let's do that. Let's pop a control tower in there. Say, all of these are bot-operated. I could switch that onto bot operation as well if I wanted to, but it's very rarely on, so there's not a lot of point. Yeah, okay, we'll spin on then. We'll give them a chance to get these explosives and the control tower and all the dirt and that laid in. Okay, we have 14 days left. 2 weeks. We're doing pretty well with the explosives. We've just got this last section to lay in. They're busy working on this section here, so that shouldn't take them too long at all. We are making slow progress with the dirt on this side of the I've done it again. Tubeway. That, good lord. This side of the tubeway. I mean, tell you what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to... Where are we? No, that's what we want. We don't want to prioritise anything. We'll stick a tubeway in just there. And we will prioritise that. And then at least we can demolish all of this. These overhangs and platforms and the tubeways on them. We can demolish all of that because they'll be able to connect up through here. Yeah, that's the plan there. I did prioritise it. Definitely prioritised it. Oh, there we go. We've had a metal plank delivered. Excellent. Good work, that bot. Right. Yeah, so that's basically what we're doing there. We've got our control tower in over here, although it's not doing a lot of good at the moment because there's no water in this little river because we've drained it all. We are pretty close to draining this little reservoir here. I haven't turned anything on over here. We do have our 3 water pumps up here. And we're still at, 7,458 water. I think we're okay for the moment without that reservoir being switched on. Once that one down there is fully drained, I'll probably turn on a couple of these. But I'm not going to turn on the whole bank. There's really no point. Okay. I'll spin on again. We'll see how we do with these explosives. Alright, that is in. So let's demolish. Where are we? Demolish you. Yep. We'll demolish you. Yep. We'll demolish you. We'll demolish you. And we'll demolish you. There we go. So we can still get to this tubeway station. We can still get up onto here. Everything's fine. There's just a bunch of resources there that we're probably not going to be able to collect. Okay, we are on day 19, so we've got 10 days left of the bad tide. We've got everything laid in, so we don't need to be coming along here for anything except for the debris. So I am going to demolish... Oops. All of this. Like so. We're also going to come back there as well. And we want to get rid of everything that is underneath here. Like so. And then... where are we? There's a platform there. And a platform there. And then we've got a platform there. Is that it? That's it. Okay. So we need to fill in these holes. Like so. And then we need to close off all of this. But first, what I want to do... How far do I want to come down there? 2. So we're going to put 3s in there, and we are going to put tier 1s on all of this. So this whole section is going to come down to the same as everything else. That's going to be slightly deeper because that's where we're going to be putting our tubeway in. Okay, right. I'll give them a little while to get on with all of that. That should only take them a day or so. Well, not even a day. Look at that. All done. Right, let's get these explosives set off first, shall we? Try not to kill anyone in the blast. There we go. That's all good. Right. Now, we should, in theory... I was on the right one. Be able to build... up to there, and then just all the way along and connect up there. Excellent stuff. Oh, right, we'll join that path up as well, just in case. Okay, so that's that. Everything else is going okay. We've still got plenty of water in here. They are taking out quite a lot of this water, surprisingly. But I imagine evaporation on that long reservoir there is notable. Yeah, everything else is going fine. No changes anywhere. So, I think we'll end the episode there. Thank you very much for watching. Please do give us any comments down below, and thank you again to everybody who does comment. It is appreciated. Please give us a like and a subscribe, and please join us next time. Until then, I've been John. This has been Timberborn. Please do take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye-bye.